Hi there! Today we are going to be talking about continuous line contour drawing. This is a really great drawing practice to help train your hand to copy your eye's movement as you look at an object. You're drawing just the edges of the object, the contours of something, using just one line. The goal is to really not lift up your drawing utensil as you go. You're keeping it on the page the whole time. Maybe you've heard of blind contour drawing before, where you're not looking at your paper that you're drawing on, you're just looking at the object in sight. But here we are going to be looking at what we are drawing as well as the object or objects in front of us. We are going to be drawing very slowly and carefully, really trying not to pick up your drawing utensil. And the results, they're not going to be perfect. They will likely be much more expressionistic, so just have fun and embrace any little perceived mistakes. So to start, any sort of paper will do just fine, whatever you got. You can use plain old copy paper, maybe an old book page or a piece of newspaper, and if you used a big thick black marker, that would be kind of nice. You can use the inside of a paper bag, or this is just some sketchbook paper that I experimented with some highlighter, kind of created a little implied texture for a nice background. So those are just some options, but options are limitless. So in terms of utensils, any utensil that makes a mark would work perfectly. You can just go for a pencil, but try not, if it has an eraser, try not to use the eraser. A Sharpie or marker, if you have a brush tip marker, that would be awesome. That would probably look really nice and help create different line variations, or even just standard old Bic. It's great. And if you're just starting out with everything, if you're feeling a little apprehensive, maybe you can just start with like one object, something big and broad and simple. That would be fine. Or you can assemble a little still life of your own, kind of like I did over here. It's just some objects I like. You can do some of your favorite things in the house. A favorite necklace of mine, a cup I made, my lucky stone. Anything you want, you can draw. And then, as you feel a little more comfortable, you can move on to portraits with the same sort of concept. Maybe you can get a family member or a friend to sit with you as a live model, or you can work from a photograph. You can take a selfie, whatever you want. It's a very fun challenge to try and connect all of the features of the face. So just some options for you to start, but I'm just going to be demonstrating on my little still life here, so we'll get started. Okay, so have my still life with some smaller objects. I'm opting for just some plain white paper and a 5B pencil. Of course, any pencil would work just fine. Doesn't really matter where you start on your still life or your object. Just go really slowly, noticing all of the edges on your objects, and try to move your hand at the same rate as you're looking at your objects or your still life. I think maybe I'll start up at the Sharpie cap. And think of this as kind of creating a wire sculpture as a drawing. As you go, your lines are the wires. And I'm going to grab that more square marker. It's a bit taller. It's on a little angle because it's a sort of a cube. And you don't have to get too caught up in details. They're nice for reference points, but it's not really imperative by any means. But of course, if you want to add some details like texture, that's totally great as well. Go grab the cup, and then the box kind of cuts in right there. And then I think actually, since I'm here, I'll grab this roll of tape. Crazy ellipse. They can be tricky. It's okay if you have to go back over lines, but you know, no need to feel like you have to correct your lines by going back over them. Just kind of let it happen. This line, I can barely see the front of this box at my vantage point. So it's almost non-existent here. Again, let's see. Very, very minimal. Ooh, but I have to go back and grab my stone, so I think I'll just hop back on this line here. Try to get the shape and the outline of that stone. You might not be able to tell, but there's a nice little hole right in the middle. So I'll create that little hole there. Maybe I'll just hop down, get the edge of my cup, the bottom of my cup. Maybe I'll just add in these stripes to make it a little more interesting overall. And after we're done, I'll give you some options about what you can do to make it a little more decorative. Maybe add some color in the mix. So I just wanted to go back around my rim of my cup there. I'm just gonna grab this line. I gotta grab this necklace. So let's see if I can grab that sneaky little chain. And that pendant is a pretty perfect oval if I were looking over it, but it's a little wider here. I'll just put a line in for the little detail that's around the pendant. And one more time, grab that other bit of the chain. And there you go. So now you can definitely go over your lines if you want. Maybe with a Sharpie. You can practice maybe going a little faster with your lines. It's kind of fun and loose, kind of follow what you've done. Adding another sort of line quality is great. Gotta grab my lucky stone there. You can also add a horizon line. You can go back in with markers or crayons or colored pencils. I went back in this one with some Sharpie, and I have these really great markers that have a fine tip and a more broad tip to add some color there as well. So you have a lot of options, and of course you can work from objects or still life, and then you can also move on to portraits and get someone to be a model for you or work from a photo. So you have a lot of options for continuous line contour drawing, and just keep practicing and experimenting. Hope you have fun.